We'll talk about that.
All right. One way or another, suggested by Uncle Richie. Thank you, Uncle Rich.
Did Blondie originate that song, or did she copy a different band? Someone else sing it. Remember?
That's a great question. I'll have to do my homework on
You're
that
usually
one.
good about that. So, by the way, Uncle Richie and I had a bet. His Arizona Wildcats gave my Bruins a beatdown. I said I'd play air guitar on the air. We don't have headphones on this week, so I can't hear the background music, but I will honor that next week. We'll have the headphones back on, and I'll air guitar one of your requests. He requested Blondie one way or another, so
we are
there's a backstory.
Back with Fan Zone. We're going to call this one first round playoff edition of Fan Zone.
All right.
It's good to still be here. All 6 teams getting into the playoffs. Just showing you how great the Sunset League is. Unfortunately, 3 are no longer with us, but we'll talk about that at length some more. We're joined today by Jack Gerasitano and Hunter Gray of Huntington Beach, coming off a big 29-21 victory against Glendora. Thank you so much for being here, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
So I wanted to ask you guys, do you have any pro teams that you follow?
So I'm a Giants fan.
Okay.
I mean,
And why the Giants? That's kind of random.
well, so my dad's from Long Island, and most of my family's from back east.
Okay.
And then so I've always just rode with him on Giants, Yankees, Rangers.
Oh.
So we're all New York
You're all
teams.
New Yorked out.
What about basketball? Go Knicks?
That's the hard part. Knicks and Nets. I don't really follow basketball that much, so usually I just take the Knicks because they're like the original.
But you ride with the Rangers, not the Islanders?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Okay.
Sometimes my family
You're
gets mad
struggling with
at
these
that
answers.
too. I know,
It's okay.
I know.
It's not a big deal.
I'm a Broncos fan.
Oh, Hunter.
I have some family in Denver. and
Okay.
I started liking them with Peyton Manning.
Okay.
So ever since Peyton Manning, I've been watching them ever since.
What about college?
Yeah, what about last night? What was going on?
I'm an LSU fan.
Now, why them?
And
I have family there. And
Okay.
I've liked their football team ever since I
and Jack, who do you like in college?
And I'm a Bam fan, so it was a great night for us.
So what were you guys doing last night during that game?
Last night we were watching the football game.
Together, yeah.
So did any Hunter? Were you kind of upset when you left?
Yeah, I was upset. Yeah, but at least, yeah. It was
At least nothing. You guys lost. Okay.
nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys won. That's
The Oilers.
won.
Hey, the Oilers won. That's
Yeah.
what's most important.
Yeah.
The Oilers won, and the Oilers are playing again this Friday against Ontario Christian, and a home game again.
I know.
which is
That's
nice.
awesome. Back-to-back home
it's
games.
crazy.
How are the practices been like? By the time you get to CIF, you're in week 12. I mean, you guys have done all the reps. Do you guys tone it down a little bit? Are you still banging away like you did during week 1?
Yeah, well, we've not completely changed it, but we've flipped our schedule now since we're in playoffs. We've done it now where Mondays from like week 1 to week 10 used to be like our bang days.
Right.
But now we're doing an extra day where Monday is like our Wednesdays where we're not banging at all. We're in shells. So you're still in pads and shoulder pads.
Shorts and shoulder pads.
Yeah, shorts. So we're doing like another rest day and then easing back into it Tuesday, Wednesday of like hitting. Tuesdays are more hitting. Wednesdays like are still hitting, but not that much.
Yeah.
And then Thursday is our afternoon practice, just an hour of just helmets, and then Friday's game day.
Right. By now, this is going to be your 12th game coming up. If you don't know how to tackle by now,
That's exactly what our
That's
coach
what our
said.
coaches said.
Pretty much word for word, yeah.
And by the way, I got to give a shout out to Coach Kim. He sends me the huddle film. I harass him every morning, hey, because I need it by Saturday early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll text him again if I haven't got it. And then he says, well, hey, just text Brown. I'm like, I don't want to bother with that coach. So, but those guys are great about it. So thank you, coaches, for sending me the huddle film. I really appreciate it. And it allows us to bring the video footage to all the fans. So thank you.
hey, we got some fan zone comments. You
Let's
want
do
to
it.
jump into that? Yeah. Mike Leggett, 5, said, standing tall, I thought that was a Huntington Beach high school thing. Coach Van Horbeck made us stand tall to show discipline and to recover quicker between plays. I never knew that we at Huntington Beach commandeered that practice tradition from Edison, but I'm glad we did. It made us a better team.
We did that years ago at Cypress. Remember when Coach Fenton started there? We would get letters from other teams, parents who were at the game saying how much they loved that. I mean, for those of you who don't know, staying tall is like in between plays of defense. They're all hip to hip, side to side, and they're just watching the sideline for the call, like they're at attention ready stance. And it's a cool thing. It's a discipline thing. And I love seeing teams that do that. It shows a certain level of
Yeah, they're all on the same
focus.
page. They're all focused. They're disciplined, and they're ready for the next play.
yeah.
Isaac Hernandez chimed in. I gave Fountain Valley and Huntington Beach a 0% chance to get in. Really happy for those teams. All 6 teams getting in. This is impressive. I agree. Impressive. Like you and I always say, Sunset League, best league in America.
And really, when you think about it, Harbor lost on a last-second field goal after a slow start.
Right.
They should have won. Huntington, because Samuel Hills got upset by Tribuco, got bounced from instead of being a 1-seed Division III,
That's
they had to be
Edison, yeah.
16 yeah, Edison. And then Fountain Valley, they lose their quarterback, Noah Banua, who was one of the stat leaders in the county going into that game. You got to wonder, and by the way, Lucas Alexander, I thought, did an outstanding job, but he has to leave the receiver role, which he's doing well at, become quarterback, and you just don't have the reps and opportunities. This league easily could have gone 6 for 6.
Yeah.
And I know everybody can say, well, this and that, but I'm telling you, it is the best league in the country.
It
There's
is.
a reason why, and it's, I'm glad. I couldn't believe all 6 teams got in. We talked about this in the last episode. What % chance did you guys give yourselves realistically?
Well, when we heard that, so our big thing was that if we did happen to lose the CDM, we had to make sure Redondo Union won against Miracosta, because that would put Miracosta not at 3 wins to make them not.
So you knew all the scenarios,
Yeah.
what had to happen outside your control.
And then so we heard Miracosta won, and then we lost, and then we were like, we thought there was no chance we made it at all.
Right.
I was thinking it's probably like a 30% chance that we make it. I didn't have high hopes.
Right. But then you get the second chance in life. You get in, you get the life preserver thrown, and you take advantage of it. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
life is about opportunities, and boy, did you guys take advantage of that opportunity last week or on Friday night.
Yep.
So,
What do we got?
Jaden Early said, all the teams in the league are so battle-tested, don't be surprised if they go 6-0 in the first round. Yeah, that's a great observation. We've talked about that, how battle-tested they were. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but,
Look,
everybody
the other
played
teams
well.
in the playoffs are good too.
Yeah.
There's no more freebies,
Yeah.
especially now we're getting the second round. Now you're playing playoff teams who have won in the playoffs, so it's only going to get tougher and tougher. But hey, if you want to be a champion, you got to play the best.
Well, like
and beat the best.
I've said, I've said this before about Fountain Valley, and I mean, I'll say it about, all the Sunset League teams. You guys finished 5th in the Sunset League, but I could probably name another 8 leagues in Orange County that you guys would have won.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, let me ask you about that. Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah.
You're seniors, so it's not only your problem next year, but they're going to re-league. Have you looked at the new league proposals, and what's kind of your thought about Huntington Beach next year being in the projected league that they have them in?
Well, what Coach Brown told me was that we're basing it off of last year's performance and this year's performance of how we did, and then they're going to combine like those teams. So it was looking like Mayfair is probably going to be in our league now because. it's
And you
close
play them
game.
every year in non-league for the last couple of years, correct?
Last
the
2
last
years,
2
yeah.
years.
Yeah, okay.
they were talking about Mayfair being in the same league.
Yeah, because last year they finished 1 spot below us in
Okay.
California, and then this year I think they've been pretty close, but I'm not sure how it's going to end up now. But we don't really know any other teams until the end of the season.
Talk to me about your team next year. Like, you guys are seniors, but talk to me about the juniors and sophomores coming up. What will Huntington Beach football look like next year?
It's going to be a lot different just because we have like 30 seniors, I think.
So you're a senior-heavy team?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
senior heavy, and we're losing a lot of our starters. I think we have like maybe 4 or 5 players that aren't seniors that are starting.
Right.
But having them returning is going to be well because we were talking about Steele. He's going to be really good.
He's a stud.
He's going to be our receiver, safety. Brady Emmons, obviously, he's going to be our quarterback.
I got to think some guys might want to have him throwing to them.
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
some guys move into the Huntington Beach area.
Yeah.
Just saying, man.
Yeah,
I'd play
no.
that guy for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, true. And then Gavin too on defense. He'll be a great returner.
Oh, he's back?
He's
He's a sophomore.
Oh, my gosh. So you got some pieces to build around.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Troy Foster, who he hasn't
Sophomore,
played the
too.
last 2 games because he got injured in the Los Al game.
Right.
But he's a sophomore as well, so he's going to be good.
Yeah.
And then just a lot of the juniors and sophomores are
All
going
right.
to have to step up.
I mean, that's just how high school football works. You lose your seniors, next man up.
Yeah. Nathan Chow too at guard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he had that nice kick-out block.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
featured
yeah.
him. All right, good. All right. So it's looking good. Oiler Nation.
J.K. Pinda, BC, said, feel bad for Edison being pulled in as cannon fodder to fill out D2. I know Edison will play Rancho hard, but Cal Preps has Rancho Cucamonga's 81% win chance.
We covered the whole Edison situation quite well. And they were not cannon fodder.
Right.
Like so I was at the Los Al game this week, and I was at halftime on Bick's show. And there's nowhere in Division II that I'd say, well, I wish I had that spot. I wish I was that team, because no matter who you play, they're all quality opponents.
It's a playoffs.
I mean,
There's
Palos
no-
Verdes were
there's no
10-0,
dogs. And they got
got to
Mission
go to
Viejo.
Mission Viejo in the first round.
Yeah.
Like, congratulations on a great season.
Yep.
Peace out. So once you get to the playoffs, look, if you want to be the best, you're going to have to beat the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, if I'm Edison, let's just play the number 1 seed now and figure it out. If we beat them, we get their seed, and now we got a good shot. And if we don't, then It wasn't meant to be.
But like you said before, it would have been a whole different ballgame if they're the number 1 seed in D3 versus the number 16 in D2.
Okay, I will say this.
Edison's definitely still playing. So.
CIF has really fixed a lot of the problems.
Yes.
I don't want to say issue I have, the only teams that potentially get, I'm not even say ripped off, but if you're like potentially the 16th seed in D2 versus the 1 seed in D3, that's the teams that might be like, well, dude, if we just, you know what I'm saying? Like it's.
By the way, you just gave the perfect segue. Did you know you were doing that?
No.
You said issue, and our next comment is Ishmael Cuevas, which is very similar.
Like
and his comment.
You saved me too. I was trying to fumble my words.
His comment was, I have to give CIF credit. As much as I would like to see some changes, for the most part, I feel they got it right.
Yeah. Look, if you want to be the best, you got to play the best and beat the best. I don't care if you play in the first round of the championship. It's, home, away, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Cody Kellogg, if Harbor and CDM both make it to the finals, will they be playing for the Bell Trophy?
Oh, no. Taryn, you want to jump in on that one? My short answer would be no, because that's a regular season thing. Taryn, wait, what's going on? You put him on camera? Oh, the mic's off?
Well, come over here.
Why don't you just shake your head? All right. Oh, here comes Taryn. There's my boy. Will you explain this answer, Taryn?
The answer to that would most likely be no.
So Harbor, say they had met in the finals, wouldn't have to bring the trophy and give it to CDM had they lost?
Right, because that's not the annual Battle of the Bay game. That's just them meeting in the finals. Yes, it would be those two facing each other, but it's not like the annual game that happens every single year.
All right.
Oh, and by the way, fun fact about the playoffs is that only 4 games out of the first round matches went to a running clock.
Right. No, and that goes back to that last question. They've got it
Yes.
so much, like all these games are competitive. Usually in the first round, it was Wipeout City.
Yeah.
Right.
And you'd
I
have
just
one or
wanna
two
throw
close
that out
games.
there
Yeah,
as
okay,
well.
no.
That's a great stat.
These games are fun to watch. They're
Exactly.
stressful.
Nothing is a given in the first round anymore.
Correct.
All right.
Well done,
Thank
my
you.
son. You're welcome. Terrence.
Oh. Vegetakumi said, love the old school NFL Films music. Nice touch.
Did we do that again, Cole? I didn't have headphones on this week. All right, sweet.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a great touch. That reminds me of my childhood watching those old NFL films. Remember Ed and Steve Sable and
As this show grows, we're ultimately going to get like copyrighted or what are they called? What's it
Yeah.
called when they block you because you're playing music
Yeah.
you're probably not allowed to? So we're still under the radar, but we're getting close.
I got to do it. The autumn wind is a Raider. Remember?
It's a Bronco.
Oh.
Right, Hunter? He's like, what are you talking about?
Elijah Benson, 5. Not hating on Fountain Valley, Huntington Beach, or CDM. I'm actually happy for them. My question is, how do they get in over a team like Tesoro, who was ranked higher than them all season long? Good question.
Okay, so there's a range based on the team's strength of schedule and whatnot. So, for example, let's say Servite didn't get in.
Right.
They could obviously win Division 9, but they're not going to drop them down to
Correct.
D9. So, in the case of a Tesoro, if they can't automatically qualify for like 3, 4, or 5, which is kind of where they would be slotted, and there's not a lot of spots left available, then they're out.
Right.
You can only be within a couple divisions.
Yeah.
So you had brought up the whole Redondo Union win and loss and how that affected you guys. So if you automatically qualify, you're in. If you don't automatically qualify, you've got to be good enough to fill those other slots. But
Right.
if you're not within a certain range, you're out. So, yeah, I mean, Servite could win CIF in about 8 divisions.
Correct.
But they're not going to drop them down, so it is what it is.
Kozai, 44. All right, interesting comment here. J.J. McCarthy is the Heisman frontrunner.
Oh, easy, Kai. I know this guy. He's a big Michigan fan.
I'm going to still go with Michael Penix Jr.
Who do you guys have for the Heisman Trophy?
Jaden Daniels.
Oh, of course.
I got
What a shock, right?
I got Michael Penix Jr. too.
Yeah.
Boy, he lit it up last night, that
Boy,
SC game.
that was a great
Were you
game.
guys going back and forth, or are you watching Alabama, LSU the whole time?
We watched the U.S. Well, for the first half, we went to Longboards.
Downtown.
Oh,
nice.
nice.
Yeah, and we watched. They had like a couple TVs, so we're
So
watching
we watched
the
both
USC Washington
games.
game. Was on one TV. And
Was it just
LSU.
you two?
No, we went with a couple other friends.
Yeah.
Teammates or just
No,
whoever?
just
Couple friends, yeah.
Dates? Be honest.
No.
Focus on football right now.
Yeah.
Anna Aguilar said, your Bruins are taking on Uncle Richie's Wildcats. Any side bets going, well, how did that work out for you, Coach?
Not too well.
How'd
But
that work
Uncle
out for
Richie had a
Uncle
great
Richie?
weekend.
Yeah, he
His
did.
Wildcats bared down and won. His Huntington Oilers won. Hey, don't give me that, Mr. Fido. How'd your Trojans do? Oh.
They got ran over by.
Cole's probably the defensive coordinator. And I had a side bet with Uncle Richie. I said I'd play the air guitar. Like I said, we didn't have the headphones this week, but next week I will air guitar it out, which is so lame. But what it is, A bet's a bet. So I will honor that, Uncle Richie. But yeah, oh, by the way, so we had Rocky Wan on last week, old school Edison guy. And on the comments on YouTube, Uncle Richie just wrote a whole dissertation on facts. So go to our YouTube channel and look up the Rocky Wan one and look at what Uncle Richie. It's too much to read on this show.
I will pin it.
It was impressive. Thank you, Taryn.
What'd you say? Oh yeah,
He'll pin it to.
Oh, thank you, Taryn.
He'll put it on social media.
This guy played at Huntington in the late '70s, early '80s. He was a high school referee for a long time. He's out in Arizona now, I think, building skyscrapers because he's been there since June.
Doing some stuff.
Big contributor to the show, great guy, and hopefully we'll have him
he
in the
is
studios
he is Mr. Huntington Beach.
Half of this show is the stuff he gives us.
He sends us stuff. It's like, wow, like he is he lives, breathes everything Huntington Beach.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
Michael Cobley.
Coach.
He's calling me out. Air drums again? Absolutely.
I agree with you, Coach Cobley. I can't stand watching him do that. Anyway.
Okay.
Hey, real quick while he's fumbling through his notes, who are some HB guys that aren't getting recognition but you think are deserving of like a scholarship or like even D2, D3 that haven't been recognized?
I mean, for the young kids like that we're talking about, I mean, Steele has been stepping up a lot. He has great potential. Same with Gavin because they're young. I mean, they still have 2 more years to play.
Yeah.
So they got great potential. There's also Sashi. I mean, he has been recognized, but just because of size doesn't mean everything. I mean, he's still a great player.
There's a lot of guys who aren't 6'9", whatever. Like it's unfortunate because there's some great ball players. I mean, Hunter, I thought you've had an outstanding year statistically. Do you guys want to play at the next level? Have you thought about that, or is that?
I've had some thoughts about playing, but my main goal right now, I'm applying to Air Force Academy.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Oh,
awesome.
you're going to go with the guard,
Sean.
Marilla.
Sean,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been doing the application, but if that doesn't work out, then I'm definitely thinking about playing in college.
Would you play at Air Force as a preferred walk? Well,
maybe. I'm not sure.
I mean, they run the ball a lot, so I hope you know how to stop.
You're definitely getting looks at college. I was hanging out with one of the Saddleback coaches at your game the other day, and he was definitely hyping you up and saying some good things about you as a receiver. Yeah.
So you're cool playing the next level if the opportunity presents itself. How about you?
I'm kind of the same way. I'm also applying to the Merchant Marine Academy.
Oh,
which is
nice.
in Long Island.
All right.
Yeah.
Like focus on marine engineering because
You want to go back to the East Coast? Where
Yeah,
you're
where
from?
my family is.
Marine engineering.
Yeah.
Another smart guy.
Yeah.
You notice the Sunset League guys, how brilliant they are? Like Colin Penny's got that 4.7.
The dumb guys get 3.9s.
Yeah, that's
how
dude,
smart this league is.
Yeah.
You got Diavola at the Naval Academy, Morella going to Air Force. Nathan's going to Stanford, right?
Justin's
going to Stanford. I'm sorry. Yeah. Nathan's his brother who's playing at Golden West now, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Well, before the show,
Tom
I got
knew who's
Hunter
going
behind
to
me
Stanford.
spell checking all my screw ups, and so it's pretty funny when a student's
That's
correcting the teacher.
Another point to how the Sunset League is the best league in America. It's the smartest football players in America too. Oh my gosh!
Get it from me.
Jeez.
Let's go. What's up?
Cody MN4SK, ditch the air drums. I want the air bass.
We have a bass player in the back room right now.
The bass
if
player.
you're gonna play bass, Murphy's the guy you want to
Murphy.
get lessons from. Yeah, why don't you do that next show? You do the air bass, I'll do the air guitar.
All right, we'll get a good bass song. Oh, maybe like
I have to. I lost a bet.
How about like Another One Bites the Dust or something
Yeah.
like a good bass line?
Oh, yeah. That's a good call.
There you go.
All right.
Jaden Early 4, do you know if the state finals will be here or up north this year? And do you guys like the idea of these teams having to potentially play 2 more games? It could be 16.
Okay, I do know the answer, but let me ask you guys real quick. You're heading into week 12. Physically, how you guys holding up and how you feeling?
I mean, I'm still pretty sore from Friday, and there's a bunch of bumps and bruises on the whole team, but, we're just trying to stay healthy.
Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night or you're in like math class and you turn a certain direction, like something hurts that you
Yeah.
didn't realize?
I've woken up with a lot of cramps sometimes in my calves.
Yeah, that's
pretty painful.
So if you were to win CIF, I know there's a lot of work before that happens. That's 3 more games. Then state would be another 2 games. How do you imagine your body's feeling after 16 games of football?
I mean, I'm sure it's not going to feel good, but for us, it's like, why not go all in if it's our last year, possibly?
Hey, and for that ring,
Exactly.
dude.
I'll take a little damage on the body to get a CIF or a state
Yeah,
championship.
and my friend at Olu, when they won it 2 years ago, he has a ring,
Uh-huh.
and it's so sick. It's at his house. I always like look at it. It's really nice.
You got a shot.
Yeah,
You're 3
yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Just focus. So the other question was about this. So state is actually down here this year. And basically how it works, if you win CIF, you go to state. You play a regional game in SoCal or NorCal, wherever you're from. And then every other year they alternate. So this year it's down south. And the 3 spots are El Camino College, which is in Torrance. Correct. Pasadena City College, which is, where's that?
I think Pasadena.
Good call. Okay. And then Saddleback, which
Mission
is your-
Viejo. I went to Saddleback.
And I think the top 3 or 4 teams playing those venues. And then the smaller leagues like Division 9 and whatnot.
That's cool. They're all close too.
Yeah, so
Everything's
you never know.
close.
Stay
That's good.
tuned.
All right, let's go to the Sunset Rewind slideshow. Could you pull that up for us, Cole? Thank you. So, Sunset Rewind news this week. Here we have the Sunset Rewind Orange County stat leaders for the regular season, final regular season. And here we have the quarterbacks. You can see 4 of the Sunset League quarterbacks appear on this list. Jaden O'Neal, Alonzo Esparza, Caleb Annett, and Brady Edmonds.
One thing, sophomore, junior, senior, freshman. So 3 of these top dogs are coming back.
Yep, and all 4 grade levels covered there.
Ah, good call. I didn't recognize that.
Here we go to Sunset Rewind stat leaders regular season rushing. So we have Julius Gillick from Edison and your guy, Tyler Young from Huntington Beach.
He actually went over 1,000 yards that
Yeah,
past
that game.
game. So
Yeah.
big shout out to Tyler Young, 1,000-yard high school running back. That's something you'll have the rest of your life when you talk to your friends or your
Yeah.
grandkids. Say, hey, I was a 1,000-yard rusher.
4 digits, right?
Yeah.
Here we go to regular season receiving leaders.
There's Hunter.
Hey, you
Top
see
10,
that guy
number
right
9.
there?
Good job, Hunter.
Hunter Gray, top 10. And obviously, man, you know what?
At Harbor
I'm doing the
5
math.
6.
Hunter, you're going to go over 1,000 this next week.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, you had, 164 this week? So, yeah, that's, do your math real quick.
No, that was the question. I wasn't paying attention. I was reading. Devon, the tight end. Now, here's an interesting story about Devon Mitchell. He's the tight end from Los Al. He's only a junior, but he's bolting out after this year, going to Oklahoma. You don't think they'll miss that guy? Because you guys played against him. He's a load.
Yeah,
he's big.
He
Yeah,
broke
right?
His, he
You
broke
remember
his
him?
toe our game.
So, Hunter, if I'm doing my math
say
right,
that
you're
again?
at
He broke his toe our game or something.
That's why he was out. Okay, in
Yeah.
the first round. He
Yeah.
came back last week.
if I'm doing the math right, Hunter, you're at 993 right now.
Yeah.
So you're going to go over 1,000 on your first catch
So
this
just
week.
a quick hitch.
Yeah.
Get your yards after the catch, and you got it.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll give you a shout out next week.
Okay.
So tackling, look at that. Your guys,
Hoy Hansen.
Colonel Solo is on there. Tanner Muir, Hoy Hansen. These 3 guys, you do not want to get tackled by any
So,
of
by the
them.
way, we invited Colonel Solo in a couple weeks ago, but he got really dinged up that week before and couldn't make it.
Yeah.
So we'd love to have him in at some point, but great guy. Got promoted to Colonel this year. Used to be Captain Solo.
I expect to see Gavin on that list next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Oh, no
sure.
question.
So, most players of the week. Who you got, Coach?
You know,
An ensemble
it's
caster.
easy to follow the receivers and the quarterbacks and the running backs, but Los Al had over 300 yards rushing. Okay, and behind every great running back is an outstanding offensive line. I had to call these guys out by name: Zion, Braden, Capono, Mal, Caleb Martinez, Makai Stewart. Every week, I think Los Al had over 500 yards in total offense. I mean,
Unreal.
the linemen don't get enough love, and I'll give you credit because you found all those pictures and put them up. I told you we got to get the O-line somehow. And
Yeah, well-deserved recognition,
by the
gentlemen.
way, I left my phone over there, but it's like junior, sophomore. This whole group is coming back. They're only going to get bigger, stronger, fat. Thank God you guys don't have to deal with
That's-
that next year. But I'm telling you,
That's scary.
they're big boys. They're good. Their running backs got to love them. The quarterback, I mean, every time we see Alonzo drop back, he's not even getting touched.
Nope.
So congratulations to Los Al O-line. You
Alonzo
guys
always
deserve
has a very clean uniform.
it. You know who their O-line coach is, right?
Yes.
Who?
Greg Russell?
No,
Greg
you
Ru-
lied to me. You don't know. It's Coach Mao.
Oh, Coach
He's always
Mao.
pumping us
No,
up
Russell.
on
I'm
the
sorry.
show.
Russell's doing D-line. Coach Mao, yeah.
What did you say, Taryn?
Oh, Kevin.
Taryn's calling you out. All right.
Sorry, Coach Mao. Yeah. So my player of the week, I'm going to go with Caleb Annett, Corona Del Mar. Big victory, 19 for 32, 211 yards, 3 touchdowns throwing, 32 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns rushing. So he accounted for 5 of the 6 touchdowns for CDM. 40-21 win. Most importantly, they are moving on to the CIF quarterfinals.
By the way, I met his grandfather before the CDM game. Colin's dad hit me up and said, "Hey, we're going down to I think it's called the Whale or Whalers."
Yeah.
Anyway,
Place in Newport. Yeah.
talking to his grandfather, Texas guy, football coach, really nice guy, and his whole family's there. They're excited. So give a shout out to Caleb's grandfather, and I gotta think he'll be up in Santa Barbara this week. So I might make that road trip, even if I go solo. My wife's gonna be killing me, but I'll find a way.
Caleb, there's a reason he's a D1 quarterback headed to Boise State. So see what the Sea Kings can do against Santa Barbara this week.
My old neck of the woods.
So, Sunset Rewind Coach of the Week, our old buddy John Iman, Los Alamitos defensive coordinator. Had to give some love to Coach Iman and a shout out to him. You and I go way back with Coach Iman, way back in the Cypress days. So
I don't know what the record is
Does a
for
great
league
job.
championships in track.
Oh,
but
God.
he's got to be
Yeah.
in that discussion
Yeah.
because
head
long
track
story
and
short,
field coach at Cypress as well.
I used to coach tennis at Cypress.
Yep.
And when we won league the first time, I went to Iman and say, "Hey, where do I order league championship patches? How does that work?" He's like, "Yeah, you came to the right guy."
Right.
Because he'd been doing it for years already.
Well, have you ever seen the wall in the PE office there?
They've lost space. It's
Yeah,
nothing
it's
but plaques
like-
of
yeah.
championships and all that stuff.
It's impressive. So
Yeah.
thanks, Coach Iman, for being a friend always, and congratulations, and go Griffins.
And his son Jacob was my gaming partner for years. We played World of Warcraft.
We saw him last week at that Los Al
right.
game.
That's right. I was a rogue. Anyway, night elf.
So this was the last famous Sunset alumni of the week for the
one got
year,
it.
because we're moving on to the playoffs. So
Did you guys ever watch Baywatch?
won't be featuring that.
They weren't even born yet.
I
What
watched
year
like the new one.
Yeah.
Oh, the new one?
The movie.
Okay, well, the old one had her. She went to Edison, Nicole Eggert. She was in Charles in Charge. That's way before you guys' time, but anyway.
So yeah, since we're in the playoff edition now, we won't be doing alumni of the week anymore, or any more trivia. We'll save that for next year. But
we
I did
also
have to
ran
answer.
out.
I did have to answer the last trivia question though, since I put it up there. So the trivia question from last week was, who holds the record for the longest field goal in Sunset League history?
You guys want to take a shot at that? Jad Oatman?
That's a great guess.
I don't know.
You're going to know who this is. And by the way, ironically enough, I don't think he ever kicked in the NFL, but he did punt.
Cluey?
Yes.
I got that. I had no
got
idea.
it, yeah.
I knew the Los Al had a good punter, right? But all right, that makes sense.
I pulled this out of the CIF record book. In 1999, he hit a
was at
60-yard
UCLA?
field
Yeah, I
goal
remember
versus
him.
Loyola. Played for the Minnesota Vikings in the NFL as well.
Remember the receiver from
He's a
Los
Bruin.
Al and he played for UCLA, Brad Melsby?
Yes.
You kind of remind me of him a little bit. Google him when the show's over.
Brad Melsby.
Yeah.
So Sunset League, CIF Southern Section quarterfinal playoff games. Okay, gentlemen, this is where we pull up the current games and we predict who wins or not. You can give a score or not, and just say win or lose. Or if you're bold enough to predict a score, you can do so as well. So Corona Del Mar versus Santa Barbara, Friday, November 10th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Santa Barbara High School. Sea Kings come in at 6-5, and the Dons are 9-2. What do you got, Coach?
I don't know. Oh, go ahead, Hunter.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Go with CDM is going to win. I'll go with 28-24.
Ooh,
Oh, he likes a tight
nice.
one. Go ahead. You're up.
I'd also probably go with CDM going to win, but I'd go probably 31-24.
You like that score?
I'm
All right.
I'm taking the Sea Kings, and I'm gonna be really close with Hunter. I'm going 28-21.
You know, it's hard to handicap because I don't know anything about Santa Barbara. It's like you guys with your opponents, they play different teams that are in the area. It's hard to really know. They have these great records and these blowouts, but that's all. Look, I'm desperately pulling for CDM. Look, if they win by one, I'll be smiling ear to ear. I don't want to give them too much confidence, so I'll go tight one. 20. I think I'd get offense. I'll say 28-21.
Okay, that's the same as me. Yeah,
What the heck? Is that what you said?
yeah.
All right.
I like that call. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Los Alamitos versus Sarah, Friday, November 10th, again at 7 p.m. Sarah High School, Griffins 9-2, Sarah 8-3. This is an interesting matchup because you and I were at the Los Alamitos scrimmage prior to the season beginning this year. Sarah, they played at Los Alamitos. Sarah was up 21-7 on Los Al.
Right.
Los Al came screaming back, score a touchdown, so now the score is 21-14. They score again, it's 21-20. Los Al goes for 2. Makes it. They win the scrimmage 22-21.
Remember, everybody ran the field. That was
Right.
cool. It's amazing how fast the season goes because
That seems like it was yesterday.
Right.
I actually thought this might be a Division II final game, but it turns out it's happening in the second round.
So before you guys make your pick, and I'll let you go before me, they've got a running back who's a beast. That's the one thing that stood out to me in that scrimmage. They had a guy who was just a load.
Yes.
So I'll let you guys make your picks first, then I'll jump in. What do you got?
I'd still go with Los Al because I feel like from the beginning of the season they've like put everything together a lot more.
Great
I
point.
think they're gonna be a lot like better now.
They're getting better.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
absolutely right.
Yeah. So I'd probably go 35-21.
Good.
Well, I was going to say Los Al is going to win 35-28.
Dole?
Predicts. I haven't seen Sarah play this year. I mean, I know their record. I looked it up on Max Preps, and they've played a tough schedule. But Los Al, that's a different team than that team we saw in August. That is a much different team, and they're just getting better, and they're improving every week, and it shows in everything they do. Like I said earlier on the rewind show that we did when we were going over the highlights, they're firing on all cylinders, offense, defense, and special teams. So it's going to be a tough game, but it's not going to be 22-21 this time. I got Los Al winning this one like 38-21.
All right. I'm definitely going with Los Al too, but I'm going to kind of go against the grain here. If I'm Sarah, I'm taking the Edison approach. With a big O-line and a great running game, I'm going to try to limit possessions, keep this thing tight and low scoring. Now, Los Al's shown they can win those games, a la Edison. I do like Los Al. They're a much different team than we saw them during the scrimmage.
Yes.
And, they've kind of gotten their groove. And I just think, I would think it's going to be low scoring. I like Los Al. I'm thinking like 21-14. I just think there's going to be limited possessions. There's going to be a fast clock.
Good smash mouth game.
Exactly. I mean, that's how it's going to probably end up. But we'll see. I'm just go Los Al.
All right. And finally, Huntington Beach versus Ontario Christian, Friday, November 10th, 7 p.m. Home game for the Oilers. Hey, Ontario Christian, impressive, 9-2. Oilers coming in at 5-6 off a great victory against Glendora. Got some momentum going. All right, gentlemen. Obviously,
Hunter.
We know what you're going to pick.
No, I got to think Hunter's going with Ontario. But go ahead. Let me go ahead.
I'm not going to say a score.
Right. That's respect.
Don't
that.
get yourself in
Yeah,
trouble.
Yeah.
Respect that.
Have you guys even watched film on these guys yet?
I've only watched a little bit.
Okay. So why don't you just break down the game as far as what they have, or do you even know yet? I know
The
it's
only thing that like we saw was that me and a couple of the kids on the defense were talking about was they have this one wide receiver who has like all of their touchdowns.
they've got a money
Interesting.
receiver.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I want to make you make. I don't want to give them any locker room or board material. So I'm just going to assume you guys are picking Huntington Beach. Can I
Yeah.
assume that?
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
I don't want to get these guys in trouble.
So do you want to give a score, Coach?
My hope and prayer is that Ontario's looking at the record going, 5-6, like we got
Yeah.
this. And, they get a little overconfident and cocky.
Right.
I love Huntington Beach at home. I got to think your PA announcer is going to be the difference
Yeah.
in a tight game. Just find a way. Hopefully that fog rolls in and screws up that receiver. It's hard to give a score because I don't know anything about Ontario. I got to be honest. But at the end of the day, I've got Huntington winning this thing, going on to the semifinals. Let's go.
So here's the way I'm looking at this. They're obviously, Ontario Christian's going to be smart. They're going to watch film. They're going to key on you, Hunter. They're going to see what you do.
Good. That'll open up Musashi. I hope they do that.
It's going to open up Musashi, but here's the X factor: Steele Kurtz.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Or
Hunter
Gavin,
Right.
or Colonel Solo. I mean, we can go down the whole line.
You
of
can
great
expect
players.
to see. I don't know. I mean, they could double team, bracket you, because they're going to want to take you out of the game because they know that you're Brady's favorite receiver, and I mean the stats are there. You're nearing 1,000 yards. That being said, though, Steele's going to be a big contributor. I think if they can get the running game going.
They got the O-line to do it. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, Huntington's going to win this game. Huntington is going to win this game and go on to the semis, and you're going to get your catches, but just they're looking at you right now. They're watching film, going, "Hey, that number 2, we got to stop that guy." They are,
Yeah.
but Huntington's going to win the game.
All right. Go Oilers.
So we got some special shout-outs this week pertaining to Huntington Beach, right, Coach?
Yeah, who?
Well, we want to talk about Mr. Trong, guy I met after the game. You guys, good guy, talking to
Mr.
him.
Trong?
His son had the interview we posted on.
Oh, the announcer.
Yeah.
What?
No, not the announcer. It's one of the dads. You guys, you talk
Taryn,
about
why
Mr.
you get
Trunk
upset?
because Taryn posted that.
Fill me in.
Taryn, you want to elaborate on that one?
The mic's off. Hurry up, Taryn. We're losing viewers.
Dan Trunk is his name.
So unfortunately, I made the mistake of accidentally spelling.
No, that's not your fault.
Oh.
That was a team thing.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fine.
No, it was Terrence's fault. Go ahead.
yeah. But Gavin Trong is on Huntington Beach, and I do wanted to apologize for accidentally spelling his last name wrong.
You're good, dude. That's like I said, that's a team thing.
Yeah.
We're
What are
team
we
here.
talking about right now? Are you confused? Yeah. What are we talking about, Terrence? Like the view.
You're all good, Taryn.
All right, but go
All right,
ahead.
good.
So anyway,
I can't take
and obviously we want to shout out the public address announcer at Huntington, just doing a wonderful job, and also Lorenz, right?
Yeah, so he's great because he's actually the baseball guy more than the
Dominic,
football. Dominic Lorenz, and then he gives me all the stats, and like again, I can't beat every game.
Yeah, you
so
guys
those
have a wonderful
him, Kip McKell
support
send me
system
all
there.
the supplemental material, which is
Yeah.
really helpful. So thank you to those guys.
I just wanted to thank those guys, and thank you, Taryn. You do a great job. Thank you so
Terrence, we're gonna
much.
talk off air. I still don't know what we're talking about this whole trunk thing, but anyway.
Oh, well, that'll wrap up another edition of the Fan Zone first round playoffs. We'll be back next week. We've got 3 teams. Hopefully next week, talking about 3 teams moving to the semifinals. So thank you, gentlemen, for joining us
Yeah,
today.
thank you for
Appreciate
having
you
us.
coming in the
And
studio.
by the way, that week of the championship,
Oh, boy.
we're off for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So we're gonna be going to every. So you got to
Oh,
make
it's
the
gonna be
finals somehow,
awesome.
some way. Just
Yeah.
get there, and we will really go deep with the players and the coaches, and really try to, pump these programs up if they can get that far. So. You're going to cancel your plans for us? Yes. All right, call your manager at Ralph's and tell them you're going to be sick that week and you can't go in pavilions. Whatever, same difference.
Well, hey, do us a favor and smash that like button and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter or X, call it now, at sunset_rewind. And on Instagram, it's sunset_rewind, as well as sunsetrewind.com. Thank you, Taryn. Thank you, Cole. Thank you, Murphy. Thank you to all our contributors, Emma, Nick Burns, Eric Ramos, and of course, Jack Gerasitano and Hunter Gray for joining us in the studio this week. Let's have another
Boys,
great week
crushed
of
it. Let's
football.
go,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
Let's
thank
go.
you.
Let's go, Oilers. Take care, everyone. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next Sunday. God bless.
Not really a hashtag.